Thank you very much for this honor. I'm sorry I cannot be with you tonight, but I do first want to thank Sister Priscilla, Mrs. Ava, and the induction committee for this unique honor. I can assure you that it's unexpected and is extremely valued. The reason that I cannot be with you tonight is that I am actually in a plane somewhere over the Pacific Ocean as I make my way to the Federated States of Micronesia. I'll be spending the next 2 years in Micronesia as a member of the Peace Corps, where I will be teaching English in a community over there. So there are two questions that people always ask me when they hear what I'm doing. Where's Micronesia? And why the Peace Corps? I don't have exact answers for either, but I usually come up with something that will get me by in the moment. The first one, where is Micronesia? It is a small chain of islands in the Pacific Ocean, right north of the equator, and a little east of the Philippines and Indonesia. It's in the same chain as Guam. For the second question, why did I choose the Peace Corps? It's a little bit more difficult, and I usually break it down simply and just say I have always done volunteer work and I really like to travel. But this award has allowed me to reflect a little bit more on my real reasons for joining the Peace Corps, and it's a little harder to explain. And I've come to find out that it actually has a lot to do with St. Jeanne d'Arc and athletics throughout my life. It was at St. Jeanne d'Arc where I first learned about service as a form of leadership. Looking back, just about everything at SJA is designed to create a foundation of skills for the students to become leaders. Every activity from student council to lunch monitoring to the athletics, they all incorporate elements of service and responsibility to others. I have been told once or twice in my life that I make a good leader because I am confident and opinionated. And it has also been thrown in there that I tend to have a loud voice. So that's always helpful when you're trying to lead a group of people. While these things are definitely true and have provided me with leadership opportunities in the past, I can really pinpoint exactly when leadership clicked for me as a leader. I had already been captain of my high school cheerleading team for a couple of months, and this is Lowell High. We had a regular practice. Everyone was really frustrated, doing their own thing, not on the same page. And as I'm sure the cheerleaders here know, it's very important to be on the same page and everything at the same time. So it was a particularly frustrating practice, and as a captain, I had been kind of sitting back the whole time when I decided to do something. It was my opinion that we needed to get back on track, and I was confident that my coach would agree. So I'm sure I just started using my loud voice and was yelling the counts just to keep everyone together. It was just the easiest thing at the moment. It was a split-second decision, and I went with it. After practice, my coach pulled me aside and thanked me for being the leader that I was supposed to be. It wasn't until that point that I realized that having a loud voice and being opinionated doesn't make you a leader. Those are skills that help you choose to be a leader. So, as the 7th and 8th graders know, for the past year I've been working for Massachusetts Youth Rugby. I'm sure they can attest to my loud voice, and as can the first floor teachers who would close their windows during rugby practice. So I was fortunate enough to return to SJA this past fall to help Mrs. Saba introduce rugby into the PE curriculum. Apparently they've come a long way from squat thrusts in rows in the big yard. So we were teaching rugby there, but when I'm coaching my own programs, my own middle school rugby teams in Boston, I always like to introduce the quote, "Leaders are made, they are not born." It's Vince Lombardi. So leaders are made, they are not born. And we are always reminding them, if they're about to make a questionable decision or they're not being the leaders that they could be, we're always reminding them that they're made into a leader. You're not born a leader. And that leadership is a choice. So if I see them about to make a decision, that would negatively impact the team, we're just reminding them you have to choose to be a leader. You have to choose to be a leader. And being a leader doesn't mean having captain in front of your name or having a C on your jersey. It's not about getting the trophy at the end of the season or winning the coin toss at the beginning of a game. Leadership is a daily choice, and I can guarantee you that it's not about the fastest person or the player with the most points or the best statistics, because I surely would not have ever won that, and I will not ever win any of those competitions. But being a leader is about service. It's about serving your teammates and the greater, maybe it's a school or organization, it's about serving them. At that one cheerleading practice, I counted the loudest because that's what my team needed at the time. They needed a strong, loud voice as guidance. As a senior in college on the rugby team, sometimes my team needed a loud voice, but sometimes they needed someone to stop talking and pick up the equipment after the game. Both St. John Dark and athletics have provided me with constant opportunities to gain and practice these leadership skills. As I begin my journey with the Peace Corps, I realize this is just another step towards being made into a leader. I feel very fortunate to have had these opportunities, and I hope you all choose to be leaders. So thank you very much. Congratulations to all of the graduates, but also to all of the athletes, the parents, supporters, and everyone at the school. Also, thank you to my parents for accepting this award on my behalf.